Isaiah Thomas was one of the most unstoppable players in the NBA, but in just a few months, everything was gone. This is the story of how one of the league's brightest stars disappeared. Isaiah Thomas wasn't supposed to make it, not in the NBA, not at his size, not with the odds against him. Standing at just 5 feet 9 inches, he was overlooked his entire life. Coming out of high school, he wasn't one of those top recruits everyone was chasing. Even in college, he had to prove himself every single year. But no matter where he went, the doubts followed him. Then came the 2011 NBA draft. One by one, 59 names were called before his, and with the very last pick, number 60 overall, Isaiah Thomas finally heard his name. In the NBA, they call that pick Mr. Irrelevant. It's a label given to the player no one really expects anything from. And for Isaiah Thomas, that label followed him into the league. Every team had a chance to draft him, and every team passed. Not because he couldn't score, not because he didn't have heart, but because of one thing: his size. At 5 feet 9 inches, and teams didn't believe he could survive in a league full of giants. They said he couldn't defend, that he'd get exposed, that his game wouldn't translate. So when he finally got his chance in the NBA, nothing was given to him. Not minutes, not respect, not even a real opportunity. He had to fight for everything. In his rookie season with the Sacramento Kings, Isaiah Thomas wasn't handed a starting role. He had to earn it. Every time he stepped on the court, it felt like he was playing for his career. If he didn't score, he didn't play. If he made a mistake, then he'd get benched. So he did the only thing he could. He outworked everyone. He played faster, harder, with more heart than anyone on the floor. Because for Isaiah Thomas, this wasn't just basketball, this was survival. And even when he proved he belonged, even when he put up numbers, teams still weren't fully convinced. He was traded again and again from Sacramento into Phoenix. It was like no matter what he did, no one was ready to believe in him. But everything changed when Isaiah Thomas got to Boston. For the first time in his career, he wasn't just another player fighting for minutes. He was given a real opportunity, and he didn't waste it. In Boston, Isaiah Thomas became the face of the franchise. The same player teams doubted, the same player taken last in the draft, was now leading one of the biggest teams in the NBA. And then came the 2016 to 2017 season, the year everything changed. Night after night, Isaiah Thomas was unstoppable. 30 points, 40 points. It didn't matter who was guarding him. He wasn't just scoring, he was taking over games, especially in the fourth quarter. That's when he earned the nickname, the King in the Fourth. When the game was on the line, everyone in the arena knew who was getting the ball, and still, nobody could stop him. He wasn't just good anymore. He was one of the best players in the league, an MVP candidate. Let that sink in. The last pick in the draft, now being mentioned with the best players in the world. But just as everything was going right, everything changed. During the 2017 playoffs, Isaiah Thomas got a phone call that would change his life forever. His sister had passed away in a tragic accident, and just like that, basketball didn't matter anymore. But only days later, Isaiah Thomas stepped back onto the court. Not because he had to, but because that's who he was. Playing through heartbreak, playing through pain, and what happened next was one of the most emotional performances in NBA history. On what would have been his sister's birthday, Isaiah Thomas scored 53 points in a playoff game. Every shot, every moment, you could feel the emotion. It wasn't just a performance, it was something bigger than basketball. In that moment, Isaiah Thomas wasn't just a player, he was unstoppable. But behind the scenes, something was already going wrong. Isaiah Thomas was playing through a serious hip injury, and every game, it was getting worse, but he kept playing anyway. Through the pain, through the risk, because for Isaiah Thomas, this was bigger than basketball. He was playing for his team, for the playoffs, for his sister. But that decision would change everything. The injury didn't just go away, it got worse. And slowly, the player who took over games started to fade. Then came the moment no one expected. After everything he gave to the city of Boston, after playing through injury, through heartbreak, the Celtics traded him. Just like that, the rise, the peak, was over. Isaiah Thomas gave everything to the game, even when it cost him everything in return. And sometimes, the biggest what-if in basketball is how far he could have gone if he never got hurt.